Saw this the other day and thought, here we go yet again, immigrants being taken advantage of in the city. This time, and I thought to myself, how could this even be happening? But this time it's over the fact that there are people out there pretending to be immigration lawyers, i.e. they're not. But they have managed to basically find a lot of immigrants here looking, because it's not easy to kind of, work your way through the system, all the paperwork involved in trying to immigrate here. And sadly, some of these people, these immigrants, are being taken advantage of. So there's an awareness campaign that's been launched. But I want to talk about this story first as to how this could even be happening. So let's find out, or at least try to find out. David Ettedgui is on the line. He is the head of the Montreal BAR Association. Mr. Ettedgui, thanks for being here today.
Thanks so much for having me, Aaron.
Let me see if I can wrap my head around this. How does one pretend to be an immigration lawyer? Obviously, these immigrants are now walking into law offices and someone there is pretending they're one kind of lawyer when they're not. So how is this happening?
Yeah, so, a fake lawyer is somebody who calls himself a lawyer or identifies as maître in Quebec without being a member of the bar or of the Chamber of Notaries. Now, why do they call themselves lawyers? Well, joking, all lawyer jokes aside, lawyers instill confidence. We have ethical obligations, duties to act in the best interest of the client, duty of loyalty, etc. And so they'll often target their victims either through social media, and oftentimes what we're seeing as well is that they're referred to by other members of the community, of their community, or their past lawyers who were disbarred for good reason, or were lawyers in their country of origin as well, all of which lends a certain credibility, a certain aura to them, and allows these victims to fall prey to them.
See, as you say that, I'm thinking to myself, why would someone, and I know you're obviously dealing with people when you come here as an immigrant, you try to find family or people why would someone send you to go see someone who had already scammed them in the first place? I don't understand how that would happen.
So it may not, it's likely not, a victim referring another one to the same person. It's just a member of the same community who may be ignorant to the fact that, their uncle or cousin or friend or whomever it is that they're referring to is not, in fact, themselves a lawyer registered in Quebec because they were a lawyer in their country of origin.
Got it.
And so the mission of the Bar of Montreal is protection of the public, and one of those elements is to investigate these fake lawyers, to serve demand letters where necessary, and to prosecute if required. And one thing that we want to do, as we're so happy that you're giving us this occasion to talk about this awareness campaign, is to go further. And we've created a website, fausavocat.ca, where people can get these resources that are readily available. They're out there, they're free, they're accessible. You just have to be aware of them. And so that's really the driving force behind this awareness campaign. Okay, so
again, and I don't want to dwell on this, but I think people need to know, you're someone who comes here, you want to immigrate, and as I said, I imagine the bar to try to understand exactly all the stuff you have to go through. It's not an easy thing to have to navigate on your own. Could you if you wanted to?
You could if you want to, but you're correct in saying that it's not an easy task, and that's why we've tried to simplify it as much as possible. We've put everything you could possibly need on one page, fausavocat.ca. So you'll land on the page, and it'll be where to start. So first off, validate if you're already working with somebody, you can easily validate if that person is a member of the bar in good standing by clicking on one link and searching by their first name, their last name. It's very simple, it's easy, it's confidential, and it's free. Next, if you're not working with somebody, we have resources as to where you can get transferred to find an authorized representative. And lastly, if unfortunately you fall upon one of these fake lawyers, we have a simplified form to report this fake lawyer.
Now, I just went on the website as you were chatting. It's fausavocat, as in one lawyer, fausavocat.ca. And by the way, I will mention, whoever did your graphics on this it's pretty remarkable. Can you explain what you've done here to give people the idea that they're dealing with someone who's not who they say they are?
So first of all of the credit in terms of the graphics and the design goes to our internal communications department. We didn't outsource this to any PR firm. We really have exceptionally talented people here at the Montreal Bar. We're very, very fortunate to have them. So that's first off. Secondly, what we did was we took these animals because we didn't want to take members of any type of community so as not to stigmatize any community in particular. And so we took these animals, made them kind of look a bit shady and sort of a beware campaign.
No. You did much better. You did much better than make them look kind of shady. The graphics are incredible. So there's a cat, or at least the face of a cat, wearing sunglasses, a tie, a shirt, and a suit. It's really, really well done. And obviously, you first see that, you're aware that something is up. So congratulations. If this was done in-house, it's remarkable. It's really well done.
Yes, thank you very much. We have a really incredible team, like I said. So it basically gives away some of the typical red flags that we often see from victims. So, for example, if you meet somebody and the meeting is not taking place at their office because there is no office, they're not real lawyers. It's at your local Tim Hortons or corner McDonald's. There's no paperwork to sign because most often they're not doing the paperwork, and if they do it, it's poorly done. They're not giving you copies of anything. They're asking for payment in cash. They're telling you that the immigration process is going to be simple and easy. Now, Aaron, I don't have to tell you that anything related to immigration or the legal field is seldom simple and easy or quick. And the last thing that we'll often hear is, come to me because I have friends in high places. I can move your file along, which is obviously a false claim.
So there's the red flags to watch out for. Now, typically, how long would this process, if you were doing this the right way, take?
I mean, it depends on what kind of immigration status that you're applying for. It has, there's obviously a large range there. But in terms of what these people will promise is they can promise you anything from, a month to 6 months, which is frankly unheard of.
Okay. So, so 6 months seems completely unreasonable or reasonable?
Is unreasonable.
Unreasonable. 6 months. Okay. So
definitely. Yeah.
We're talking a typical process would it be how long? I'm sorry. Did you say that?
I didn't, because it ranges based on what kind of process you're applying for.
Oh, I see.
Whether
Okay.
Investor immigration, asylum seekers. Each program is a bit different, but the typical range that we'll see is a year to 2 years.
Okay. And I will point out, by the way, in case people don't think this is a significant problem, the story I said here today, you're talking in 2022. I would imagine the figures have not changed much rather over the year. You say nearly 40% of the bar's investigations into the illegal practice of the profession of law were related to immigration. That's almost triple what it was only the year before, 2-3 years ago.
You're absolutely correct. So in 2018, it was 13% of our overall cases, our overall complaints were related to immigration law, and now that's 39% of our overall cases. So that's really
crazy.
What precipitated this awareness campaign, particularly focused on immigration law.
So let me just, because we're running out of time, someone hears this today, perhaps they're in the midst of trying to get this done, they're not sure the person they're dealing with is 100% or actually a lawyer. If someone has already begun this, right, and they're still in the midst of this, can they still reach out to the bar and say, wait a sec, what do I do?
It's never too late. Obviously, the awareness campaign, the goal of it is to get people to visit us before they fall victim.
Right.
That having been said, they can contact us before, during, and after. So you visit fausavocat.ca. The first step, there'll be a link there to validate the name of the person who you're working with and to verify whether or not they're a lawyer in good standing. If they are, great, continue. If they're not, you can immediately file a complaint and then follow our resources to get in touch with an authorized representative who can help you with your file.
But last question, what happens in cases where people have been found out to be offering their services and they are fake lawyers? I mean, what happens?
We prosecute them. In those cases, we take them to court and we prosecute them. And if found guilty, they can face hefty fines. They'll have their name put on a blacklist that we have on our website of fake lawyers who've been found guilty by the court.
Okay. By the way, again, the website, let me spell it out for people because it's a good story. It's FAUX, faux, avocat, AVOCAT. So fausavocat.ca. It's all there. If you know someone going through this, use that resource and just be aware of the fact that this is actually happening. David, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me.
Take care. All right, 3:16, let's go to traffic. CJD 800 Traffic Center and a check on your drive with Lauren Glazer. Lauren?
Aaron, we do have delays on the eastbound side of the T-Can now between Chateau-Vaudreuil and the Latour Bridge. Also delays Cavendish through to Papineau on the eastbound Met, and again between Longueuil and Anjou. Westbound side of the Met, difficult